It is spring, it is warm, it's a time of the year that I need to start changing out our bedding, and I will tell you this is one of my biggest money saving hacks right now to keep us comfortable without having to increase our electricity costs. If you're wondering how I did that, I'm going to share that with you here in just a few minutes, but before we do that, if you're new to our channel, I'm Julia. I'm one half of the Canny Couple. We are a small homestead family in rural Virginia that work every single day to merge homesteading and frugality. And as you can see, I'm in front of a stack of sheets here and blankets. And it is now time for me to officially put our bedding, our winter bedding away and our summer bedding and pull that out. Now, this might not seem like a huge deal, but I'm going to tell you something. I've been working through this in the past 2 or 3 years. We just got a letter from our electric company. We actually went from using, when we started being very conscious about our electricity usage, from like 850 kilowatt hours to 450 kilowatt hours in a year. So in March of last year, March and April of last year, we used a lot more, an extra 400 kilowatt hours versus what we actually spent this year or used this year, what it costs us. So you would think changing out sheets and things like that doesn't really matter, but I'm going to tell you it does. It matters so much because the type of bedding you put on your bed can help you keep from having to lower that thermostat in the summertime to where it's colder in the house, or keep you from raising it in the wintertime to where it's warmer, because the type of bedding you pick is going to help keep you cooler and help keep you more comfortable, or help keep you warmer and keep you more comfortable. And it does matter. I wouldn't have thought so. I'm going to tell you something. For years, you would have had to have fought me for these sheets here. These are our t-shirt sheets, and when Aaron and I first got together about 10 years ago, these were the sheets we originally went with, and this was all I would buy. They are my favorite. I love them. They are so soft and so silky, but they are not completely practical for wintertime. And Aaron would complain every winter about being cold. We'd have so much blanket on the bed. And now that I've started making these changes with our bedding, even in the summertime, the spring, the fall, I start making these shifts to different types of bedding, different types of sheets, different blankets that we use. It has helped so much. It's helped so much. There's no complaints in my house. If anything, we get hot in the wintertime. So let me share with you what we do. So currently, right now, I have just taken off our flannel sheets. So flannel sheets have a completely different texture. They're not like a fleece. I did tell Aaron I didn't want fleece at all. That was not for us. Knew I would burn up in those. But they just, for some reason, they hold the warmth in so much better. And right now it's really, really warm, so these do not make sense for us. It's gotten warm. The house isn't uncomfortable, but with these, sleeping at night gets a little uncomfortable. And then we use just a regular blanket on top of that. That's all I have. I have a sheet, I have a blanket, and we have a comforter. Now, I know a lot of people have duvets, and I know that bedding choices has changed, and apparently there's some people who don't like to use the top sheet. We are a top sheet family. I'm not a duvet person either. I'm a comforter person. So whatever you like to do, just kind of make these work for you. You're going to have to do your own research and figure this out. But this has worked really well for my family, and I'm still looking to make changes for the wintertime and the summertime to make sure we're all comfortable. So we have a thicker blanket here. It helps keep us warm, plus a thicker comforter. Now you can tell it's kind of like this velvety line. We hardly use this year on our bed. Now, summertime, I need to get rid of these flannels. In summertime, I actually take a few extra steps. So in the wintertime, I just have a lot of bedding ready and available. I also have this heavy weighted blanket. If we need it, the weighted blanket helps with putting it on the bed. So if you need to get it warm, or if you're taking a nap, to pull the weighted blanket on you, it keeps you warm. Now in the summertime, it's too hot for that. So the weighted blanket is going up. The heavier blankets are going up. The flannel sheets are going up. So in the summertime, I actually do this in stages. So right now we're at the stage where it's not really that hot, but it's hot enough I need to switch sheets. So what we typically do, and I just pulled these out of storage, so how I store our sheets is I have a trunk and I have the vacuum bags like these. You see them here? And I put them in and suck the air out, put them in the trunk until the next season after they've been cleaned. So I have these sheets here. You can tell they need to be ironed if you're an ironer. I do not iron sheets. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. You just sleep on them. But they're much thinner. They're much thinner. And you can tell the difference. Like, you can kind of see how much thinner they are compared to these flannel sheets. And you're going to be much cooler, much more comfortable. Now, when it starts to get really, really hot, I actually ditch the top sheet when it comes to my t-shirt sheets, and I actually go with a cooling blanket. I invested in these slowly. I have two. I have one for each set of sheets as I go and change them because I'd use this as a top sheet in the summertime. So these are cooling wicking blankets, and they'll keep you a lot cooler, and that works really, really well in the hotter summer months in our area, whenever you're not going to get in like the 40s or 50s at night. It does work really well. So I have two of those, and I pair them with our sheets. And I also have different blankets because I have to have blankets because of Aaron. He thinks I'm going to freeze him to death, even though it's 90 degrees outside. So I go to a much thinner comforter. It's really a thin blanket. And then I also have another thin blanket here that goes underneath it, just in case we need it. Now, we don't use these very often, but it makes Aaron feel better and it keeps him happy. So we go with it. But these are thin blankets. They're not going to add a lot of weight, and they're just to keep us from getting too cold or anything like that, make Aaron feel better. And then I also have this blanket here, and it stays on the bed all year round. And this is one I got it for naps. But we needed a cotton blanket. So this is a cotton blanket. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, but if we were to take a nap, we would have this on the bed. So we could pull this out and cover up with this. If I take a nap, I don't like to get underneath all the sheets. I just prefer to do it on top of the bed, but you know, everybody's different. But I will tell you, this has really changed for us. We don't get as uncomfortable as we used to. There's not this constant like temperature regulation issues that we had before. The past 2 years, going to this new system, we started with the cooling sheets last year. I'm going to tell you, these have really helped. They have really helped. We've been doing this system now, I would say, for 2 years. And Aaron doesn't complain about being cold in the wintertime. We really don't complain about heat in the summer. I am looking at some other things like a cooling mat to go underneath the sheet, or, you know, even like a self-heating pad, one that pulls like the heat off your body to help keep your bed warm for the wintertime. But I'm trying to find something that's going to work for us. And I'm always keeping my eyes open for creative ways that don't take electricity. Now, we've done the heating pads. We've looked at all of that. We've had the heating blankets on the bed before. We've also broken like 2 of them. And Aaron had a heating comforter when we first got together that it felt awful. Oh, it felt terrible. And it was replaced with a regular comforter shortly because it did not feel good. But this has worked really well for us. It really has. And it is so important because you can make little changes and not realize that, you know, just switching the types of sheets you're using would actually help you save on your electricity costs. Don't discount the tiny changes that you make to help you. And you can do this slow. You can buy these slow. I know for us, I've got some of the sheets that we've had for 10 years. I need to start replacing those next year. Slowly start to replace, buy a new set every 2 to 3 years to recycle some of the older ones. But just, you know, kind of find what you're looking for, what works for you. You know your family, you know your body. But I will tell you, we don't use the air conditioning in the house, the full unit. We use window air conditioners, and they do not run at night. And we have been staying comfortable. We've not had any issues with sleep, any of us, because of this system of checking the sheets, switching to a cooler set, making sure that we're staying comfortable when it gets to get really warm, going to a wicking blanket to help keep us cooler throughout the night. So don't discount something as simple as changing your sheets. It will help you save money in the long run. It doesn't seem like it's going to do a lot, but we've went in a year from 850 to 450 kilowatt hours. And this was one of the things that we did. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it really does help. So I hope you get some inspiration from this. Let me know in the comments below. Do you use the same sheets all year? Do you change them? I would love to hear from you. Make sure you hit subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. We would really appreciate it. And as always, thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.